Hi, I'm Naomi Nishi in the Office of Research, Development, and Education, and this module is focused on understanding and researching your sponsor. According to a 2009 article by Robert Porter, 60% of all grant applications are not even reviewed because they were not an adequate project match or they did not follow directions. At ORDE, we believe that this statistic is as true today as it was in 2009. And this makes it particularly important that you understand the sponsor that you're applying to before you put in all of the hard work to write the grant application and apply. Sometimes projects are just not a good match, and you don't want to be a part of that 60% whose proposal is not even reviewed because their idea was not in line with the goals of the sponsor. So I wanted to give you a couple quick tips on how to research a sponsor and what is important that you understand about a sponsor before you decide whether or not you're going to apply to that sponsor. As you work to understand a sponsor, it's important to bear in mind three different aspects. What is the ideology of the sponsor? What is the approach that is preferred by the sponsor? And what topics are preferred by the sponsor? Now, ideology can be the trickiest and the most nuanced of all of those sorts of things. Whereas there are some sponsors that are called left-lean, which gives us some hints into what sorts of ideologies they have that inform their funding choices. But the way that you discover ideology is really understanding the story of that foundation, particularly if they're a private foundation, if they were created based on a particular person who died and had a legacy. What was that person's legacy? Because that likely forms the ideology of the foundation now. Understanding who is on the board and what their likely ideologies may be. But by browsing their website and understanding the sorts of projects that they funded, as well as any history you can find on the foundation, you can start to get a sense of their ideology. Approach is a little different. The approach is where in the process or how they think they can solve a particular problem. So they may prefer to have an exploratory approach to things. They want to fund research that is just understanding a broader spectrum. Or they may want to fund things that are very practical, something that can have an impact on people immediately, and that's what they're looking to fund. So understanding the sorts of approaches that they favor and where they see their niche as a foundation in terms of funding is important to understand so that you are submitting something that aligns with their approach preferences. And then lastly, you have to make sure that the topic of your proposal or your project is in line with the types of topics that the foundation has funded. Both the sorts of topics that they're saying that they want to fund and the sorts of topics that they have funded in the past. Usually foundations, public or private, have a very long history of funding that you can get a sense of, whether it's listed on their website or in their annual report. You can get a sense of the sorts of things that they've funded in the past and how they've set their priorities in the past. Take a look at their strategic plan if they have one posted on their website. This can give you hints both on the things that they've done and things they've seen as important, as well as future directions, ways that they want to shift the way that they've done things in the past. These can all give you clues as to what the foundation is looking for so that you can make sure that not only is your project well aligned with the sponsor, but it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be at the top of the list and push that foundation further along their path. That's what they're looking for, and that's what you need to be.